just saw public works employees essentially hiding garbage inside the sand rather than taking them out. And that's not the only video. Government cleaning employees are also faking their cleaning progress. Some do it for the sake of video propaganda promotion material, others have to get it done for progress check by their bosses. In China, trash is everywhere. It's literally a garbage country. This is after a music festival in China. Yeah, garbage just everywhere on the floor. And this is inside a train station in China. This is by the beach. And this family allegedly have been tossing trash into the elevator as if it's a trash chute ever since they moved in. This is a public square, the morning of flag raising, and this one happened in Tiananmen Square in Beijing. Or after celebration nights and fireworks. And just before we continue, a reminder, if you're watching our channel already but you haven't subscribed, make sure you do so as we release content like this every single week. And also I want to take a moment to show you this video here.
Hi, David. I would like you to know that you have been really impactful to my life and many others. You've taught many different things about China and things that the media people can't see that often. The darker side of China. You've exposed a lot of it, and you've also made it into interesting content, and it's reached out to many people I know. For example, a lot of my friends at school, they've heard of your channel and they actually watch you. And I think that's a really good thing for them to learn about the slightly darker side of countries that you don't normally see. So thank you very much.
So that was a very special fan. Somebody sent me this video from San Francisco. He's been watching the channel, and his kind words, they've really touched me. I've had parents come up to me and tell me that their kids are watching my show, which I just hope to say that thank you very much, but I hope I'm not leading them astray. So much appreciated again for your kind words. And so many of you have sent me emails, commented about the stuff that we've been doing on the channel. And so once again, I just want to say thank you to all of your support and your continued just encouragement for us to keep going. So thank you very much. Now, the mindset is very, very simple. As long as the trash leaves my hand, it's no longer my problem. Now, you could say that this is a decade-long build-up to essentially destroying the ideas of basic decency that you're supposed to have as human beings, caring about the environment. Well, it's selfishness in China that drives a lot of its actions, including just tossing around garbage. This was at the Zhuhai exhibit this year, just recently, where they showed a bunch of new tech in China. And look at the ground, it's everywhere.
这么多的垃圾，为什么会这样子呢？因为今天我航展，大家带了东西，甚至带了塑料椅来这里坐，来这里吃东西，人走了，垃圾就留下了。
Now, you might have been on YouTube and wondered, well, according to all of the other travel vlog videos of China, you don't see garbage anywhere. You don't see any spots on the ground where there's dirtiness or anything like that. I must be lying, right? Well, sorry to tell you, but in a lot of those videos, they're deliberately showing you the clean streets only. But in the majority part of China, at least with my experience growing up until I was 11 in China, yeah, trash just randomly on the ground is a very common issue. As it turns out, no country is perfect. Now, disclaimer, I'm not saying that New York City or, Paris or London is supposed to be this trash-free thing out of the world. I'm not saying that. There's dirtiness everywhere. What I am saying is that a lot of this stuff is being portrayed as if China is a unique country where no garbage exists, but the reality is far from that. I've not been everywhere in America, but I've been to a lot of big cities. Like I've been to Chicago, I've been to Cleveland, New York City, LA, Florida, Miami, different Orlando. I've been to a lot of these cities where, there are dirtiness, there's trash, but you do not see the common sort of random tossing trash around the street type of behavior in China. When I went to the beach in South Beach in Miami, it's very clean. The beaches, just out in the West Coast, also very clean. So I've not encountered, aside from, trash days in New York City, obviously they don't have like trash chutes or trash cans, I should say, in the back, so they have to toss them onto the street. Other than that, I've not seen garbage being a big problem. Now, obviously there are exceptions, right? Maybe after a parade or some sort of a riot, there's obviously trash left behind. But even talking about Europe, in Europe, it's probably some of the cleanest places I've ever been in terms of how they handle trash. And I think it's really weird because they go to the other extreme. They will fine you for not discarding trash properly into different categories. And this is more like the reality of China every single day.
今年应一个朋友的邀请，来到他所在的小区，让我看到这满世界的垃圾，真的是让人头疼。没想到就在咱们上围，唉。
So this is at multiple scenic areas and camping grounds. People will eat in a group. After they have their picnic, they will just leave the trash around. There are garbage cans around. It's just they don't bother to take it with them. It's so normalized in their mind that trash belongs randomly on the ground rather than in trash cans. Particularly in this video, you see at top of Tai Mountain, which is one of the most popular tourist spots in China, the trash can is empty. Yet there's trash all around. I got multiple videos of Tai Mountain. It's very busy for tourists in China and from other countries. So, you see trash everywhere.
明明都说了这么美的风景，为什么？为什么？为什么？为什么？为什么？为什么？为什么？
折头山已经好多次没上来了，这一次来到山顶，满地的都是垃圾。虽然风景很美，但是你们的这种行为。
I'm not the most outdoorsy person, but I've been to plenty of campgrounds and barbecue spots outdoor, in scenic areas or in national parks. You don't see this type of behavior. After a large group of people gather, they clean up after themselves. But in China, you see the opposite. Now, part of the reason is because you really don't get in trouble for tossing trash in China. In my experience, I've never heard anybody getting fined for littering. Because everybody's doing it, it's so normalized that I think even the cops don't care. And this one, I think it really highlights what I'm talking about. So this is between two apartment buildings. The trash is piled so high, it's at least 2 floors tall. It's above the first floor shop, so I think that's at least 3rd floor. Other things, like in public, they pee and poo and just spill things or spit out phlegm. And all of these things are done publicly, and they don't seem to care. Okay, so I'll tell you something unique about my childhood story. Behind our residential area, we lived in this small neighborhood that had 5 different zones. But behind our zone, there was a little mountain, sort of a backside mountain kind of thing. Anyways, so in China, what you call a lot of people dumpster divers, they're called littermen or littering people. People that basically pick up not just trash, but discarded items for a living. And some of them are pretty rich, actually. So this one guy, he made himself a home in that little mountain cave, and he's got all sorts of stuff, right? So when we go to there, we had a little dairy farm across the mountain on the other side. So every time we go across the little mountain, we see this guy with his little cave. I've heard stories in China of some guys marrying 5 different wives from picking trash, which is pretty amazing. And you also see this behavior in outside of China too. So you see a lot of these older aunties, they will dumpster dive or they'll go into garbage, they'll pick up bottles and things like that. Not necessarily because they immigrated and they're homeless. Maybe there's particular some, one or two cases of that. But most of them just seems to have that habit from back in China that they pick up trash. Old habits die hard. So, I mean, it does happen. Now, here's another video. This one's is from also in the US. They're fighting over trash. So I've always had this belief that the measurement of a society or of a civilization's current state is how they treat small things, like nitty-gritty details. I'm not talking about like literally nitpicking every detail, like how you hold a fork or how you hold a knife kind of thing, but I'm talking about in general, when you're just existing, what kind of behaviors do you project to the outside world? And this video here, I think, is a perfect demonstration of that. This is in an airport in Thailand. The Chinese passenger just eats his snack and then tosses the wrapper on the floor. And obviously there's people to pick up after them, right? There's cleaning people in the airports or on the street, but that's not the point. The point is that other people will go to the trash, throw the garbage out into the trash rather than leaving it on the floor. And it's not because of laziness either. I won't sit here and pretend like I've never done something, like randomly throwing trash on the floor. I'm not perfect. Ooh, in case you didn't know, I'm not the perfect man you thought I was. But yeah, like recently I felt pretty bad, but I threw away a bunch of trash in our trash area downstairs, and I didn't separate the recycled cardboard from regular trash, and I felt bad afterwards. But yeah, so like some people do this, right? It's not an extraordinary thing. But it's when everybody in China seems to be okay with this behavior, it gets kind of weird. Again, I don't want to make it like a blanket statement. Let's just say most, right? This is how they deal with illegal parking by illegally dumping all over the car. So we know that obviously if you're municipal public works people started to go on strike, you might end up with a week of trash not being collected, left out on the street. Smells really bad. Again, that's a common occurrence. Like this one in China, beginning of 2024, on January 10th this year, a town in Hunan province was filled with garbage. No one was dealing with it for a week. Government staff said that the government's financial resources are no longer able to essentially afford the cost of garbage removal. So what they're doing is they wanted to outsource this to local merchants or make them pay money so that they can get them done. But as we know how the Chinese government works, and we've seen videos today of them hiding the trash in the sand, I think it's better that they could have just hired somebody else. And here's another example of the so-called public works in China. This is atop a scenic area in a mountain, and the man is disposing his trash. Well, technically he is disposing the trash. It's just in the air. And this is really go across different age group and gender or whatever social class they have. So here we have a group of young people doing this. After their film shoot, they decide to just leave with their lunch left behind. And this is pretty hilarious. A homeowner is renovating his house only to find in the ceilings are hidden construction disposal material like garbage, construction garbage, hidden inside his ceiling. That's so crazy. They take this behavior into the grasslands of Inner Mongolia in China or to Japan. This guy randomly threw his bottles out of the balcony because he was too lazy to go down to throw it. I mean, that's pretty dangerous. So I would love to hear about your experience. If you've ever been to China, is it true what I mentioned, or did you experience something else? Let me know in the comments. But yeah, that's today for the episode. I just want to highlight for you that China's literally a garbage country. And this behavior, maybe you've seen it or witnessed it outside of China too. So let me know, your thoughts in the comments, and like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. All right, until next time, bye-bye.